On the surface, skateboarding may sometimes seem like an impossibility. With nothing more than a piece of wood strapped to some metal trucks and plastic wheels, skaters are able to seemingly float through the air, oftentimes traveling at ridiculously high speeds. They're able to pull off these majestic, fluid maneuvers, all with a smile on their face. One thing I've always been curious about, more than anything else when it comes to the sport, how do skaters get the board to stay attached to their feet, no matter what? Board goes up, comes back down with them. But how do they do it? So now that I knew what I was looking for, it was time to do some research. So I headed off to my computer, started looking up tutorials, manuals, guides, anything that I could find that would help me figure this out. And after I found what I needed, I went out and tried it for myself. It seemed pretty simple, a pop and a drag, and the board should come up. So I gave it a shot. And another shot. And another shot. I just kept giving it shot after shot after shot, and I just could not get it. After about 30 minutes of trying, with me being no closer to success than I was at the beginning, I simply called it quits and went back to the drawing board. So by this point, I had come to the conclusion that something was up. There had to be this big fundamental idea that I just wasn't grasping, because I, for the life of me, could not land this trick. And I was doing everything right, so it couldn't have been me. So what was I missing? Well, I came across these videos. These skaters were using inner tubes and rubber bands to keep their feet firmly attached to the board, and so I had finally found my missing link. But before I could try this for myself, I needed something to keep my feet on the board. So, from the videos I saw, it looks like we have two options when it comes to this. One, we can use rubber bands, or two, we can use a bicycle inner tube. And lo and behold, in our shed here, we happen to have just one of those things, an inner tube. So, thank you, inner tube. Turns out that this was all that we needed to get this show on the road. Even comes with a nice little rubber band just in case. Anyways, so the ollie. The way that everybody says you're supposed to get your board off the ground with your feet still on it simply does not work. I've tried it, we've been over that. But while I get this set up with the proper tools, I suppose that I can explain to you guys how the ollie is supposed to work in theory. So, the ollie consists of two basic things. A pop, which is the back foot kicks down on the board, which causes it to hit the ground and go up. Then comes the drag. The drag is when your front foot then carries the board up in a straight line, and then it comes back down. So now you know the science behind it. And now we can get on to the real way of doing it, the best way of doing it, so to speak. So let's get on that. All right, so in theory now, I should just be able to jump and the board should stay stuck to my feet, no problems. So I guess here we go. I mean, it works. So I finally had my answer. I finally figured out how skaters get their boards off the ground. I had also got the answer to another question I had started developing, which is, how do skaters detach the board from their feet to do tricks? It just kind of comes off. And with that, I'm Aaron Garcia, reporting from Borderzine.